Uh-oh, Japan. Shares of Japanese firm Mitsubishi are dropping after the company admitted to fudging product data. Mitsubishi Materials admitted on Thursday that 2 of its subsidiaries had falsified product data to match specifications set by clients. Mitsubishi Cable Industries altered data on its O-ring sealing products, affecting 270 million units sold over a 2.5-year period to firms that include aircraft and car makers. Specs on metal products for car and electronic components were also misrepresented by Mitsubishi Shindoh, with at least 29 companies believed to have bought the parts between October 2016 and 2017. So far, none of the products have caused safety problems. Reports claim one other unit had supplied products with falsified information, though these have already been confirmed safe to use. The Mitsubishi scandal is the latest blow to Japan's once prestigious manufacturing industry, which has been rocked by multiple controversies this year from companies like Kobe Steel, Nissan, Subaru, Toshiba, and Takata. Yep, that's fake.
Fake US Border Patrol car found smuggling undocumented migrants. In a win for US Border Patrol, agents last Thursday busted alleged smugglers trying to get 12 undocumented migrants into the United States using a vehicle painted to look exactly like an actual Border Patrol SUV. On December 10, US Customs and Border Protection officers from the Laredo sector near the Texas-Mexico border uncovered an apparent people smuggling operation that had modified a Chevrolet Tahoe to resemble an official Border Patrol vehicle. The cloned SUV, however, was missing the flashing lights used on Border Patrol Tahoes. It also kept the footbar and front bumper which real Border Patrol vehicles don't use, as they're designed to go off-road. Agents noticed the irregularities on the suspect vehicle and pulled it over. Inside, agents discovered a total of 12 people crammed into the back of the counterfeit SUV. The Tahoe had been stripped of all of its rear cabin seating. Border Patrol told KRGV News the discovery is the first cloned Border Patrol unit discovered in recent memory in the Laredo sector.
In China, it's normal coming across fake or counterfeit goods everywhere you go. In fact, it's probably more of a shock when things are actually real. You could say that China likes to keep it real with all its fake stuff. Take the completely harmless, made-in-China iPhone chargers, for example. They're a killer buy and perfect for any occasion. Better yet are these set of emergency doors located in a Chinese mall. There are 2 of them to make things extra efficient. And better yet, it doubles the feng shui.
Wyjście awaryjne w Chinach.
Okay, so maybe having emergency doors that don't actually lead anywhere might not be the best idea. But honestly, what could possibly go wrong? In fact, having such genius architectural design could even prove to be useful to the Chinese authorities in some instances. So next time you're in China and you use some emergency doors that lead to nowhere, don't freak out. It's supposed to be like that.
Fake U.S. Embassy in Ghana stayed open for a decade. The U.S. State Department recently uncovered a criminal operation in Ghana that had been passing off a ramshackle building in the capital as America's official embassy. The sham embassy was housed in a battered pink building with a U.S. flag. With white people manning the inside and a photo of Obama on the wall, most assumed it was legit. In reality, the consular officers were Turkish and in cahoots with the Ghanaian crime rings. Instead of getting clients from nearby, they advertised via flyers and billboards to customers in remote parts of West Africa. Clients were shuttled to the city, booked at a nearby hotel, and taken to and from the fake embassy. Walk-ins were not accepted. For a fee of $6,000, applicants could be issued fraudulently obtained but legitimate U.S. visas, or any other false identification documents they needed. The scheme went on for a decade until folks from the real U.S. Embassy caught on, leading to the arrest of several suspects in a police raid. More than 100 passports, legitimate and counterfeit visas and documents were found in the investigation, along with the discovery of another fake embassy, this one Dutch.
One guy almost fooled the entire world of journalism. One man was such a good con artist, he managed to trick international journalists. You know, those folks who are supposed to be the most scrupulous of all about sources and stuff. By and large, most people on social media, and many in the media industry, believe this man's false identity as a surf-loving war photographer. Before being revealed as a con artist, the unnamed man went by the name of Eduardo Martins, an accomplished photographer who was not only handsome, but also a skilled surfer from Sao Paulo. Oh, and a survivor of leukemia. Over the past 3 years, Martin said he worked as a United Nations war photographer, snapping events in the Gaza Strip, Syria, and Iraq, where he's said to have witnessed the battle for Mosul against the Islamic State. Man, that sounds really badass. Martin's photos were widely used by Al Jazeera, Deutsche Welle, The Wall Street Journal, BBC Brazil, and image agencies such as Getty Images. In fact, those images were actually taken by other photographers who actually went to the war zones. The little con man merely inverted the images horizontally and added some slight alterations. A BBC Brazil contributor in the Middle East became suspicious after Martins contacted her. She later reached out to other Brazilian journalists working in the Middle East and learned that Eduardo Martins never existed. The UN and other groups whom Martins said he worked for told BBC Brazil that Martins never worked for them, and none of them recognized his face. BBC Brazil later discovered that the images supposedly of Martins himself were actually of 32-year-old British surfer Max Hepworth Povey, who had zero knowledge that this was happening. Once the con artist's work was called into question, he deleted his social media accounts and WhatsApp. However, before he went silent, he said he was in Australia and was going to travel the world in a van. Puff, just like that, Eduardo Martins disappeared. BBC Brazil later discovered that Martins had online relationships with at least 6 women, and none of them had ever met him in person. Although the con artist's true identity remains a mystery, what he did is arguably the most successful case of identity fraud since Catch Me If You Can Frank Abagnale Jr. Facebook finds fake Russian accounts spreading fake news. Aha, so it was the Russians all along. Either that or Facebook is trying to make something out of nothing. Facebook says around 3,000 ads worth $100,000 ran on their network over a 2-year period, ending in May 2017, adding that the purpose of the ads were to spread divisive social and political messages. The ads directed people to 470 accounts that were spreading false news or were in breach of company policies and have since been shut down. As part of an internal investigation on how Facebook could have been used to influence the last U.S. election, the company found ads that were bought from U.S. IP addresses, but with their language set to Russian. According to Facebook, in that part of the review, they uncovered about $50,000 in potentially politically related spending on about 2,200 ads. The advertisements did not support any particular candidate, but focused on immigration, race, and equal rights.